Hello everyone, I'm Chris, aka Fit Vegan Activist. As you can see, I'm at the International Animal Rights Conference in Luxembourg with WeTheFree. And this video is going to be a series of interviews with the team here of WeTheFree, where I'm going to ask them 3 questions. Why they went vegan, why they became animal rights activists, and what do they like about being an organizer with WeTheFree. So let's start. Hello. So first of all, tell us a bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, and then we'll get to the questions.
Okay, so I'm Natasha. My name is Natasha Garnier. I'm from India but settled in France for the last 10 years. I'm vegan, an animal rights activist, currently working for PETA France as a campaigner and also organizer for the Lyon chapter of WeTheFree.
Amazing. So tell us a bit, Natasha, why and how you became a vegan.
So my story starts with the adoption of our little doggie, Sandy. My husband and I adopted her when she was 8 years old. And she has these really beautiful, soulful eyes that I love to stare into. And one day I was just looking into those beautiful eyes filled with love and feeling so happy to have her with me. And I had this light bulb moment where her eyes suddenly reminded me of those of cows and calves, and I just realized that I would never eat my doggie Sandy. So I was wondering what was going on. Why would I eat other animals who were just like her, who could suffer like her? And it was very confusing because it was the first time this thought came into my mind. And so that's where all this, lots of questions came into my mind, and I realized that I was not living in alignment with my core values. So I decided to go vegetarian. And explained my reasoning to my husband, who also got it. And so we were vegetarian for over a year and a half, but only because...
So your husband, when you explained this thought process to him, he got it immediately.
Too. Yeah, because I said, look, we're not going to eat Sandy, are we? And he's like, no, of course not. I said, so why would we eat, another animal who's like her? And he's like, yeah, fair enough, makes sense. So yeah, we both went vegetarian together. But it was only because we didn't know what happens in the dairy and in the egg industries, and I didn't really know any vegans at the time. I wasn't exposed to anything on social media either, so
When did this happen, this realization you had about Sandy?
It was about a year after we adopted her. So that's when I started to realize, okay, the similarities between her and the animals that I was eating. So we ended up going vegetarian. I did know one vegan at the time, but she only explained to me why it was important to be vegan from a health perspective.
Okay.
And that didn't really make a difference to me because I didn't really, care much about that. I was like, oh, okay, I mean, doesn't matter to me. I didn't really get the ethics of it because I guess, I was not really told about the horrors of the dairy and the egg industry. And however, this thought kept playing in my mind as to why vegans don't eat these products. And I remember very clearly it was 31st December 2019, New Year's Eve. Everybody around me was partying, but my husband and I were just having a very quiet Netflix and chill session at home. We went to bed, but I had this niggling thought at the back of my mind. Why do vegans not eat dairy? Why do they not eat, eggs? And I couldn't sleep. I kept tossing and turning. So it was 3 a.m. in the morning, and I said, okay, I can't sleep. I'm going to go and do some research on Google. And that's what I did. And that changed my life forever because the information that I found on there was so horrifying. At first, I thought it was a joke. When I first saw a page that told me that baby male chicks in the egg industry are ground up alive because they don't lay eggs, I said, no, okay. I said, this is too horrifying. Like, it can't be real. And I thought it was a joke. And so I looked at other links, and all of them said the same thing. And I was horrified beyond my wildest beliefs. I couldn't believe that, humans were capable of doing such enormous atrocities onto innocent animals. And
It's very shocking when you make that discovery, right?
it was mind-blowing. I mean, I was in shock. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And The same for the dairy industry, finding out that baby calves, male calves were considered useless, they were killed, their mothers were artificially inseminated, that farmers literally put their fists into the anus of a cow and restrained her to artificially inseminate her. It was all very, very troubling. And I stayed up all night doing this research, and I remember my husband woke up at 8 a.m. and he came to see me and he's like, where were you? And I just looked at him and I said, I'm vegan. And he looks back at me and he said, okay, that's the lack of sleep talking, come back to bed. And I said, no, I'm vegan. And I showed him everything that I discovered. And he looked at all of it and he realized that there was no reason that could justify doing such horrible things to animals. And he got it too, and we just both went vegan together, and our lives changed forever since then. Yeah.
That's amazing when you share your discoveries with somebody who's very close to you, your husband, and they understand it, because many people go to their loved ones with the same realization when they first go vegan, and they're met with resistance. No, I don't want to hear about it. So
Totally.
It's very,
I realized that
very inspiring
I'm
that
very
it happened.
fortunate to be spending my life with someone who understands me, who gets my core values, and who's quite simply a good human being, because finally it's just a question of aligning what we do with what we feel. We all don't want to cause unnecessary harm and suffering onto others, but we go against those very core values 3 times a day, every day when we sit down to eat. So I realized that, my husband is a good human being, and I'm very fortunate to be spending my life with someone like that.
Amazing story. So you said at some point that you asked the vegan why you should be vegan, and they said they advocated for your health before you were vegan.
Yes.
And that leads me to the next question, because it's a very important point.
Yes.
That when we talk to others about veganism, we convey the ethical side of it as the most important reason for being vegan, and not health or environment. Because if that vegan you met and you spoke with had given you the information about the dairy and egg industries, maybe you wouldn't have to do all of this research by yourself.
Exactly.
Anyway, so that leads me to the next question. Why are you an animal rights activist?
So, upon going vegan, while I felt good about living in alignment with my values, at the same time I saw that while I had stopped contributing to the biggest moral atrocity that exists today, I realized that everybody around me was still continuing to do that, like, it was normal. And I couldn't live with that. I just realized that there is this urgency to act given the number of victims every second of every day, and I couldn't stay quiet. I just had this restlessness within, which said I have to do something. I didn't know what. I didn't even know anything about animal rights. I didn't know that there were vegan groups. I had no clue about any of this, but I knew that I had to do something. I could not be quiet. And so I ended up going to a vegan picnic that I found out about online, and through that I met some vegans who told me about AR organizations like Anonymous for the Voiceless, L214, which is a French organization, and that's how I got into the activism scene, and never looked back. Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice, because being vegan, at the end of the day, it's such a passive stance. You just stop doing something that you shouldn't have been doing in the first place in a society where you can easily be vegan, right?
Exactly.
So it's very inspiring that you decided to be an active vegan. And that leads me to the third question. We're here with representing WeTheFree in Luxembourg. So what do you value the most as being a member of WeTheFree as an organization? You organize the groups in your hometown, right, where you live. So tell us a bit more about that.
So what I really appreciate with WeTheFree is I think it's one of the rare organizations that looks after its community so well. Given the nature of what we do, which is very, very emotionally draining, and just living in this speciesist world is so hard. It's so important to have the right support, to feel supported, and for me that's one of the things that stands out the most, especially as an organizer. There's added responsibility, so having a support team that's there for you, that understands.
It can be overwhelming at times when you're organizing things and everybody's depending on you to deliver, right?
Completely. completely. So having this support system, I think, is something that really makes a very big difference to me and makes me feel good about myself, knowing that, okay, I'm human. While I want to do a lot all the time, I can't, unfortunately. I can do my best, and WeTheFree gives me the support I need and helps me get through that, and always strive to be better, to do better. So I really love that about WeTheFree. What I also love is the flexibility and the openness to creativity. Well, of course, we do have our 3-minute movie challenge, which is one of the most effective forms of outreach that we do today. I'm a very creative person. I love, doing different forms of activism because I believe that different strategies work differently, and the more we diversify our strategies, the more we are able to reach different kinds of people from all walks of life. So I love being able to put new ideas into place, and WeTheFree gives me that platform to do so, to put my creativity into place, and the flexibility to do that, quite simply, because there are organizations which have fixed formats of outreach, and you can't change that or do anything about that, which is good. I mean,
It's nice that also WeTheFree encourages collaboration between groups, which is like not you have to be WeTheFree or nothing.
Exactly. So that's again a very great point. And then of course we have community events, which is good to build social bonds, to foster deeper links, deeper bonds with the activists, and there's of course My Stats, which is a great tool to measure our efficiency, and I think these are really some great elements to WeTheFree, which help us all to be better activists and do better for the animals.
Amazing. Thank you so much. For the people watching, activism.WeTheFree if you want to join the team, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Next up for the interviews we have Cecile here from France, so tell us a bit about yourself.
So my name is Cécile Sellier. I'm from France, but I've done activism in other countries as well.
All right.
Several countries.
So Cecile, tell us your story. Why are you a vegan?
Wow. So obviously for the animals, but like the beginning of the journey for me was when I was volunteering on a farm that raised animals, and so that's how I made the connection, because I was taking care of the animals all day long, and so I was like, I can't really like being taking care of the animals and then eating them. That's when I was confronted with that.
The reality of
The reality
that the animals are individuals.
Yes, exactly.
That was how long ago, approximately?
That was about 8 years ago.
Okay. And this was a commercial farm, or that you were working like a commercial farm with animals, with farmed animals?
Yes, it was like a small family-run farm, like really like small farm, organic, in the countryside in Italy, like the perfect image of the farm that every meat eater likes to, like promote, or like.
The ideal family, humane farm. But those animals were sent to the slaughterhouse when they were ready, right?
Of course, they were all raised to be killed, and most of them were actually killed on site. So like the farmer who bred them also killed them, like most of them, not the cows, but like the pigs and other animals. So.
Did you ever witness any of that?
No. Fortunately, I didn't. But I still became vegan thanks to that. So even without seeing all the worst part of it, it was really hard.
Amazing. And what motivates you to be active, like being an animal rights activist?
Actually, for me, like when I chose to become vegan, it was like kind of automatic for me to also become an animal rights activist, because when I made that connection, and when I decided to like change my own lifestyle, I wanted everyone else to get it, like to see, like all the documentaries, like see the reality of animal agriculture and animal exploitation in general. And like to me, it was like it came together, like being vegan and wanting everyone else to be vegan as well. So I became an activist straight away.
And when you tried to first communicate veganism to your loved ones, what was the reaction? Was it resistance, reception?
I think I'm one of the lucky ones that when I first became vegan, then my mother went vegan a few months later, and my sister as well. So yeah, I've been pretty lucky. It's been easy enough for my family.
That's great. That's great because many vegans face resistance when they try to communicate their sentiments about veganism to their loved ones, right? All right, and that leads us to the last question. You are here with WeTheFree, representing WeTheFree. We all are. So, what do you value most about being part of the team of an organization like WeTheFree?
Many things. So yeah, I like. Well, first of all, how efficient we are in terms of like street outreach and the approach that we use to talk to non-vegans and so on. And also, I also really like the community aspect behind it. Like, it's not just about going on the street and outreaching. There's also, the community events and all the support you get from the organization as an organizer. That's really, really valuable, and I find that really, really great.
And with WeTheFree, they also emphasize on maintaining your mental health and not burning out. That helps you stay with the organization and being an activist for the long run. What do you think about that?
Yeah, totally. And that's actually like when I mentioned the community and so on, that really helps to like stay involved in the long run, and not just get overwhelmed and burn out after like just a short time or whatever. It really helps to help us stay active in the movement for a long time. So.
And you run the W tours, right, in France. So what are your Instagram profiles so people can follow you?
Oh, so yeah, we are on Instagram, and it's wtf.tour.france.
And your own? Because you're a linguistic, you are
Yes.
a translator, so let's give that to the people as well.
Yeah, so actually I am working on building my own language school for activists. So my Instagram is Antispe, which is short for anti-speciesist in French, so it's ANTISPE. So I want to teach activist languages, but like in a way that's relevant to what we do in street outreach. So that's what I do.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So next up we have Kirsten, who is the coordinator for WeTheFree for Europe. And so Kirsten, tell us a bit about yourself.
So I am originally from the UK, but I grew up in Canada, and now I'm living back in the UK, where I have been involved in WeTheFree for a number of years now, about 4 years, as well as being vegan and an activist. And I'm here to support all the teams in Europe to help them grow and support them with whatever they need as well.
So tell us your story. Why are you vegan? What made you go vegan?
Yeah, so I think for most of us, same reason, I became vegan for the animals. So I saw what happened to them, things that I never knew before, and I was instantly horrified. And I just knew that I wanted to do something about it. I knew I was willing to change and make those steps towards veganism, because it was a small sacrifice for me, but it meant so much for the animals. So that was... it's the animals of why I'm vegan, and will always be the reason.
Was there a specific documentary or stimulation that you saw and opened your eyes, or you just one day thought about it and you said, like, listen, I should be vegan?
It was a 5-minute video on YouTube called Dairy is Scary by Erin Janis, and she also did other videos, short, really easy to watch, just that summary of what happens to different animals in different industries, and it was really educational on what happens to them and how we are paying for that.
That Dairy is Scary video is very powerful and intense.
Yeah.
And did you go become an activist straight after you went vegan, or what made you become vocal for animals outside of being vegan?
It was pretty much right away. I had a friend who was hosting an event, and I came along, and I was just participating kind of in the background, not speaking to people, but I instantly felt drawn and an urge to outreach. So I practiced as much as I could to become a good outreacher, and slowly built those skills to outreach people effectively. But I knew I wanted to be the voice for animals, and that message for me was very powerful, of that they don't have anyone speaking up. They can't speak up for themselves, so we need to be the ones speaking up.
That's very inspiring. And I think most of us, the reason why we do activism is because the animals don't have anybody to defend them, right? And one final question, you're obviously a member of the foundational team of WeTheFree. So what do you value most about WeTheFree as an organization?
It's a tough question. There's so much I value about it. It's somewhere I feel like I really belong. I love the community that we build within WeTheFree. I love that we focus on volunteers at the top of our inverted pyramid, as well as organizers, and we're constantly receiving feedback on how we can be most effective. But I also like that we track our data and through our analytics, and we can see the places that we're being most effective. And we're just constantly working on how we can target our activism more to waste as little of our time and to promote the vegan message to people for it to be tangible for them to actually change. So I love the community the most, the people who are involved with WeTheFree, and that we all share a compassionate mindset, and yeah, I feel very lucky to be a part of it.
So if somebody wants to join WeTheFree as a volunteer or as an organizer, where do they have to go?
Yeah, so anyone who wants to join WeTheFree can go to our website called activism.wtf. There's a Join Us button on there that you can click and see all the teams that are near you, but you can also sign up to be an organizer, and I'm actually the person that you would speak to, and I would support you in any way that I can. There is no need to have previous experience of being a leader. We would give you all the support and information that you need, and personally through my journey of being an organizer, it's the best thing I ever did for my own development and personal growth, but it makes me feel like I'm really making a big impact for the animals and just constantly growing in that area. So please sign up and join us, and we need you as much as possible.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.